Hello everybody, welcome back to Across the Obelisk with Trash Comps. Today we're going to be looking at Laia, Reginald, and Otis as carries. We have Bree here to support. I thought about trying to do another all clerics team, but I tried it out and it was too hard and I didn't feel like trying that hard. So we added Bree instead, and Bree makes everything way easier because we have block and powerful and setup in the beginning. But yeah, let's get straight into it and see how it goes in town. Okay, so we do have Boots of Swiftness straight away. We also have Handbook, which would be really nice to afford for Bree, but we can't take away the banner. Even with Boots of Swiftness, we need her to be fast at the start of combat. So other than that, Champy's a really good buy. We really want Orby though. I do have the investment of barrier points into Otis just so that Orby can heal up a bit and so that Otis can kind of be a split between shielding us and providing us enough blocks so we survive, so that we can then heal with Sanctify. The goal of this run is to really use Sanctify to the utmost and do as much damage as we can with holy spells. So that's really it. Like, Otis does a really good job of that himself, but we've already done the Otis Starfall team. We know that Fortify and upping the fire damage is really, really good. So we will be getting Starfall, but it's mainly just so that we have a really efficient way to apply a ton of Sanctify to all the monsters. Because like I said, that's our main goal. I kind of want to focus on Laia carry this run, though I do have Reginald also dealing damage. Like I said, they're all three going to be damage dealers. But Reginald and Otis are split between damage and healing. So I didn't give myself a ton of money to work with, so the initial rounds are going to be pretty slow. I don't have like very optimal decks at all. I was working with very little funds, and I'm trying to create 3 carries, which normally you want to have like the most money for your 1 carry, and the rest to just be able to support relatively efficiently. That's not what I'm doing though. So yeah, we got this fight going on. As you can see, it's not the fastest fight in the world. Reginald does have his nice like auto scaling with getting 2 bless every turn, so it's pretty good. He'll be helping us do some damage in the early game. Otis as well can do some damage in the early game pretty nicely. And yeah, the nice thing is like we have 3 people who can kind of do damage and 2 healers as well as a person who can block, or 2 people who can block really, because 1 provides shield for the next turn. So it's pretty good overall. Trying to give as much draw as I can to Laia. As you see, this part's pretty fast, but you can kind of just make out what's going on. I definitely sped it up a little more than I think I should have, so that's alright. I wanted to see how fast I could make a video. If I'm lucky, this one will be only a little bit over an hour, so don't have too long. But yeah, I really like taking this fight. I don't really have like a huge plan in terms of the route I'm going. Like, my plan is to go get Otis Starfall if we can, which relies on a bit of random chance. Because I didn't have enough money to make his deck all spells and then also be efficient enough to where we could make it through. I just like... There's probably a lot of optimizations I needed to do here, but I wasn't going to spend a ton of time on this run, unlike the other, like, all clerics team or all scouts and mages. That was too hard. So I was feeling like taking it a little bit easier, and I really want to just try out Laia. So there's Flash. So Healing Rain is really good because we want to be putting out fires from Laia, at least in the early game, because she's going to set herself on fire. And I do actually have the speed boost perk for setting her on fire, but it's going to do a lot of damage to her, so we need to make sure we counter that in some way. Late game, that won't matter as much, but early game, the Healing Rains are definitely nice. The other thing that we picked up right there was Shining Force. I really wanted to test it out. It's like another way to apply vulnerability. It applies Sanctify, it does holy damage. It does cost 3, which is a bit expensive, but I was in an experimental mood, so I wanted to see how it felt. And honestly, like right now, it's not too bad. It's also a pocket slow for 3, which can be very good. The pocket slows, like, obviously they can make or break an engagement if you can slow down the right person at the right time. So, very important to do, but we have enough block here. Bree got up to a ton of block because of all the shielding from Otis and her own block, so it's just, it's beautiful. So team's pretty slow, but they're also really safe. Like, even though I didn't have a lot of money to spend, I do have a fair bit invested in resistances. That way they can actually survive some hits, which I know I'm going to have to take, and then heal back up afterwards, because we're applying just loads of Sanctify. Like already you can see he's up to a decent amount, and I don't have anywhere near efficient decks for applying Sanctify. Yeah, I'm debating whether I want to take Sacred Bolt or whether I should have more flashes in Reginald's deck. But I find that I tend to don't need more flashes in Reginald's deck. I do take the upgraded Sacred Bolt because I plan to keep it for a while. So what I'm going to do in the next town is get rid of my unupgraded Sacred Bolt, because I don't need that many in the deck. I just wanted a few. Though I think after Starfall, it really becomes a moot point. But you can see if we take a fair bit of damage, Otis like gives real low right there. Going below half health in the first engagement is not ideal. But he heals all the way back up, so we should be relatively safe. And the main concern is taking out one of the enemies before the next turn, once we have all our guys go. That way I'm fairly confident we can heal through and grind out the rest of the fight. And man, do these guys have to grind. It is quite the effort to make this team go all the way. I really wasn't sure what I was gonna do with Laya. I'd done a run on like Madness 4 just to like unlock Navala with her. So I'd done this kind of previously, but I focused on like a full fire team for that one, which is kind of cool. But Madness 4 was, I mean, you don't really have to try, so it was very easy for me. But I wasn't sure how she would perform Madness 16, and I haven't tried her out as like a true carry, where I really like need someone to carry. And like, yeah, what is good about her is she is able to provide draw through the warrior cards. The warriors have the best draw in the game, and they have a card that doesn't go out of your deck. It removes slow, and it removes shackles if you upgrade it. Now we did pick up a purple pair of protection on Otis. That was really sweet. Debating whether I want Shining Force on Otis here too. Purple barrier isn't bad either, but like, I don't know how deep I'm going into the what's it called? Barrier like block route, because I want to make him do some damage too. It's a very wonky team, and like I don't think I got it right by the end. Like I'm pretty sure there's lots of room for optimization here. Still, it was a good time, and like Otis is dealing some damage. He's taking people out when we need him to. So priority here is always the Dryad. The fire guy is very scary because he does that huge like fireball right at the front character, but we had enough block to deal with it and heal back up. Otherwise, the slime's really annoying. If the slime goes before the fireball person, it's actually really dangerous because they can remove all your block, and then the fireball can just hit your health directly. But Bree's really tanky. This is another reason why like Bree just makes the run a whole lot easier rather than taking another cleric, because she just has base tanky stats. Like I didn't even invest that much into her tankiness. I'm pretty sure she's like the least invested on the team, because she needed to support and do block. Though I don't have maximum block on her, which honestly I probably should, because +3 block is kind of huge. It might have made a big difference at many points in the run. But again, this team, honestly, if you wanted to play it, it's very, very safe. Like I didn't have much trouble with it. The only danger is you can't go to the Hydra fight. Ooh, Holy Storm's a fun pickup here. I don't know that I actually need it because I'm going to have Starfall soon. Oh yeah, and the reason I took the extra fight before going to the Dryad was just in case we failed here, I'd be able to, oh yeah, and not leveling up Otis. God, I'm going so fast, it's hard to talk through all of my choices there. Anyways, I'll talk through my choices during this fight, because, you know, it's just a fight. You can watch if you want. So what I did there on that route is I took an extra fight so I could level up before the Dryad, just in case we failed, and then I'd have to fight the Dryad. I really didn't want to fail. I had like, what, a 70% chance of making it work, because I made sure to pick up spells on Otis, but I also picked up a pair of protection, which is not a spell, so it was a bit close. Still, it was fine. But anyways, leveling up before that fight is very important because it's a very difficult fight, and she's one of the best like bosses at grinding in the game, and like this being a grindy team, I wasn't sure I could even win unless I was level 2, which level 2 I was fairly confident in victory. That said, we got what we needed. We have Starfall on Otis's deck. It's a very nice pickup. It's not going to be as like crazy as like a Starfall Otis carry, because like I said, I'm trying to use it more in a support circumstance where he just applies a ton of Sanctify with it. But yeah, it was pretty good overall. This run was relatively complicated. I don't know about Holy Slash. Like, I really wish I was getting some upgrade versions because it doesn't target a monster immediately, and I kind of need it to. Yeah, we did get the Well-Fed bonus as well, which is the epic event for the slime in the forest. So we are starting our combat with a little bit of extra vitality and regeneration. It's very nice. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but for characters like Reginald, getting that regeneration, stacking that heal with your Bless, it makes him a lot more sustainable. So even if he gets like statused up before he's able to go and hit monsters, he can usually survive just due to the, what's it called? Regen plus Bless combo. Now you can see Starfall there did a number on the tree. The tree fight I wasn't really worried about. They don't resist Holy the best. So as slow as I am, like, taking a Moonfire is a-okay for this team. Like, we can take damage all day, and one of the nice things is Sanctify means you don't have to worry about Thorns, because you just heal when you hit instead. Getting Entrench here for Bree, very, very nice. A purple Protect from Evil. Otis is just, like, they are begging me to go pure block Otis on this run, and I just don't want to do it. Because I want to go somewhat damaging, like Sanctify Otis. The Slippers is hilarious. Not really useful, unfortunately, but I am thinking about getting it on Reginald or Otis to have one of them speed up and make a big difference in combat. Yeah, Reginald picking up a purple Yelmer's Branch makes sense. Applying that extra regen's nice. I get Shield of Thorns instead on Otis just for that little extra tankiness. Provide some extra Thorns. The Proficient, again, very, very good, but I need Bree to do other things instead. I am picking up QB here because I plan to go get QB and get a purple QB. That way I can get a Bless +2 every turn because purple Holy QB does a Holy Smite. So they are able to give you +2 and do some good damage right here, depending whether I need Shining Force or if there's a better version of it. I really, honestly, I should get rid of Shining Force out of Laya's deck. She doesn't have the energy for it. But I also don't have a ton of money. I can't say these builds are like super well optimized, but they didn't feel the worst. I'm keeping the Mace card. God, I forget what it's called. Anyways, I'm letting Bree do some vulnerability repeatably. Because the melee attack is the only way she can repeatedly do vulnerability on monsters. Oh, looks like I'm repeating this part right here. Uh-oh. I did a little bit of a mistake in my recording. Oh well, that's fine. So yeah, we're getting the QB because we want purple QB. We're going to be going that route to go pick up QB, so if you don't know how to pick up QB, well, you'll find out on this run. And I really want Laya to be able to do the carry, like I said, so her getting Bless is very helpful on the Holy Slashes. We get rid of the intercepts. They're not really needed. I got rid of Healing Rain and heals. Yeah. Making a split deck on Reginald has always been my bane. Like, he's good at doing both healing and smiting, and I want him to do both. I'm getting rid of the Prayer of Protection that stays in Otis's deck for the one that leaves. Because I figure I'll have enough block, and like we're not taking too long in the fight, so it's not going to be a huge problem. Like I was saying earlier, Shining Force, not a huge get, but I should probably get rid of some of these high cost cards. I'm looking at Otis's deck, I'm like, yeah, this is extremely expensive, and I don't have a lot of Energize right now. So, I arguably should be picking up some more Energize. I'm not mages, but they do have the delay response cards that I could get in Reginald and Otis's deck, but again, if they're trying to be carries, then how am I supposed to make them support and carry at the same time? You know, it's catch-22. You're not supposed to do this. Don't try it. Triple carry is not the wisest idea at all. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Sacred Bolt because, again, it's expensive. I don't need it. I have a Holy Smite Notice's deck just so that he can get a little bit of scaling because Bless on Starfall is, of course, very, very good. It does 2 sources of damage, so they both get buffed by Bless. I need to upgrade Entrench because that's the only way I can apply Fortify consistently. Or do I just go for the Battle Shout and get a second Battle Shout and get powerful? I'm going to go for the optimal second Battle Shout at 2 cost, just so that I have a better chance to provide powerful to my team, because I was feeling like our team was just a little bit too slow in damage, and part of the reason for that is that we don't have powerful all the time on all our characters. on all our carries, which is probably the most important thing. And Bree is one of the best characters in the game at providing powerful for the entire team. If not the best character. I think she's actually just the best character. I could be wrong, but... Oh, no, wait, yeah, I'm wrong, because the frog is the best character for that. Still, it takes the frog longer than it takes Bree. But Bree is still very, very good at supporting us here. Let's see. Looking through this again. Sorry, going through town twice, but it is giving me a chance to remember exactly what I was doing here. Yeah, I'm debating whether I would need to upgrade Holy Smites or whether I should save my shards. Holy Slashes I had to upgrade to hit any monster, because only hitting the front monster is kind of rough for this team, since we are slow and we need to take out one enemy on round 1, so that we don't die on the second round and can heal back up to full. Because leaving all of them alive, there's a decent chance that they kill you round 2 with all the debuffs and everything else that they can add, even if you are at full health. Assuming you don't have like an optimal block turn. But I do upgrade a Holy Smite on Reginald. I was feeling the base damage being a significant factor on cards, because we're not really buffing ourselves with Bless as much as I would like. So the base damage ends up being really important when Sanctify is reducing all their resistances by a lot, so we can double all that damage. And higher energy cards tend to do more energy efficient damage, I believe. It does depend on the card and the circumstance, assuming you don't have like buffs to base damage. So especially with like all the mitigate that exists, you can see like the mosquito took 1 damage from that AoE attack due to the 5 mitigate that he got, plus the mitigate that Nightmare normally gives you. Also, I hate the seahorse. I was really looking for a way to kill the seahorse before they went, and I was so happy to actually have drawn it with Bree. And then Bree also got her normal, like, her level 2 card, which is one of the best cards in the game. Gives her just a ton of block. Or, sorry, not just her. Gives the entire team a ton of block. Reginald's level 2 card is, or sorry, his level 1 card. I guess it's all level 2, yeah. Anyways, the first level up card that they get. Reginald's level up card that he gets is actually kind of awful. Otis's is really good for carrying, and it's good for applying Sanctify. So I have Praise the Sun. I'm looking to draw Praise the Sun and Starfall in the same term and have enough energy to do it. But because I'm not fully supporting Otis with like energy and draw and everything else, like I'm probably not gonna be able to do that. Also, I made a mistake on this run. I do have Otis as the character who can only have 1 Inspire, so he draws 7 cards with 1 Inspire instead of just the 6. I don't think that was correct because I need him to have Praise the Sun and Starfall at the same time. I probably could have gotten away with that on Reginald most of the time because like Reginald's draws didn't matter that much, to be honest. A lot of big gold cards here, but not a lot of very useful cards, unfortunately. Prayer of Healing was cool. This is like theoretically a free combat, but I was just worried about giving them resistances to anything, I guess. I thought I could probably do the challenge, but the rewards weren't really worth it either. Like, it didn't really matter if I got them or not. Anyways, that Heron is a big jerk because he applies Zeal to all the enemies. Zeal gives 7% resistances on everything for every stack of it. So, like, 4 Zeal is 28% more resistances for all enemies. It's, like, a little bit rough. And the Sandworm is quite annoying. I can mark them to potentially prevent them from stealthing. Because you can see here, they just did a ton of damage. But it's not too important to do, because I can usually survive anyways. Me not being able to heal Laya as well due to the corruption that they put on her hurts quite a bit. Still, I'm able to heal a little bit. I'm trying to dispel her to get her down so I can like actually heal her away from that corruption, or at least block enough so I'm not taking too much, but it's still not really working out. Yeah, like she's not taking much. Man, that worm hits hard and goes stealth. Now, thankfully, he has a phase right after this where he just takes a chill pill and decides to shackle himself. I'm not really sure why that is. It's kind of a cool feature. I like him as a boss character right now because like he has a cool mechanic. You can mark him before he goes stealth on the round 1. Yeah, he's one of my favorite enemies introduced with the new patch. which I haven't got a lot of chance to like talk about or see beyond this video. And yeah, Reginald's doing some really good damage right now. That 20 bless helps out a lot. Turns out scaling really matters. Who would have thought? Still, Purple Expected Prophecy. Sorry, I was going to say something else, but Purple Expected Prophecy, man, what a good card. Draw 4, place 1 on top of your deck, so it can not only like fix your draw by putting a card that you want to play next turn on top of your deck, but then also you draw 3 extra cards, all for the low price of 0 energy. Incredible card. Always take. Never don't take that card. I can't think of really good reasons other than like maybe the Century fight where you get punished for playing more cards, but even then, like, always have that in your deck. It's way too much draw to pass up. And here, Laya's what's it called? Enchantment is really, really good. I don't know if I've talked about it this run, so let me give a chance to say that. It transforms all your damage to holy. It applies fire to you when you're doing damage, and it applies sanctify and fire to, or burning, to a random enemy every time you play a melee attack, which is why I'm keeping the holy slashes in her deck. One, because they get double holy damage, and I'm buffing all her holy damage, so like they get way better as soon as she gets her enchantment out. Her enchantment lasts forever, by the way. It's not like a certain amount of uses thing, which is, again, really cool. I kind of wish they did that for more on-hit things, because it kind of feels like it wouldn't matter anyways. Some of them are like 30, some of them are like 12, I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, this one is great. Allows her to apply a lot of Sanctify as long as we're playing melee attack cards. The tricky part is, as a warrior team, playing melee attack cards becomes a lot... As a holy team, playing melee attack cards becomes a lot worse because you're not buffing their melee like damage, and until you get that card. Oh yeah, so we went into the pyramid here. Until we get the what's it called card? Oh my gosh, I'm struggling right now. Sorry. Until we get her enchantment, the holy slashes are kind of bad, but as soon as we get the enchantment, they're really good. So it's important for her to be able to draw that enchantment first turn, which is why I'm primarily giving her the Inspire. Yeah. I feel, again, bad about what I did with Otis. Otis should be switched with Reginald in terms of their Inspire perks. I am liking the Inspire perk for having at least one character draw 2 on the 1 Inspire, just because like most teams don't have enough Inspire to go around. Here I'm taking out the Eyeball, because the Eyeball applies Courage to the entire team, and they also apply Amnesia. The Eyeball is one of the hardest things for like an all Clerics team to deal with, but I am really hurt. Like, this is a little bit of a tough battle. Thankfully, I have really good block cards in the Shield of Protection. Gives you a lot of buffer as well, so I don't take as much damage here. And yeah. The bull decided to take an easy turn rather than going really hard, which I think is kind of just RNG, because they could go super hard if they wanted to. Another card I wanted to try out more was the Flame and Powerful card that you get in Clerics now. You can now target anyone in its upgraded form. Laya, of course, I'm just targeting herself because I want her to be on fire, but also not on fire, because she'll get more damage for any zeal she has, the more on fire she is. And also, yeah, look at that damage the bull just did. 61 fury. Yeah, that hurts. I went down real low. I think this is a fight I had to try twice, by the way. So this is my second iteration of it, and it was, yeah, close. But here I needed just Otis to do damage so he can heal off of the Sanctify. Unfortunately, he was doing a little bit too much damage and was killing too fast. So, not going to work out. Holy Fire, I arguably should have picked up right there for Otis, but I wasn't really setting them to... I wasn't really planning to set them on fire too much. Here, also, Defense Mastery would have probably been better for the entirety of the run. Here's also where we pick up QB, because we go into the Pyramid. Laya has that option, so does Navala. If you go down this route, you can get into the Pyramid and go get one of the QBs. Which is cool. Like, I hadn't really been in here before attempting these runs. I did figure out, like, what comes next, which was, I don't know, it was very scary. I get lucky here on this run by getting an answer correct from a Sphinx. Yeah, well, you'll see in a second. There's also a fun little mini game where we can pick up a bunch of rewards if we play it well. Unfortunately, my friend wasn't here to help me play it super well. Malik would have been probably pretty good at the game, but I just do an okay job. This team is pretty hard for us to face. They have a good amount of toughness, and that guy's immune to Sanctify in the front, which meant that his resistances weren't getting reduced as much as I kind of depend on them to. So if the wrong enemy has an immunity to Sanctify, you might get really unlucky. So like, I think one of the enemies that could just mess you up completely here is the Lamia. I forget what she's called, but there's basically a Naga that will silence your entire team for 2 turns. And if they're immune to Sanctify, the chances I could take them out round 1 would be almost 0. So yeah, that could just be an end of the run scenario for this team that is otherwise pretty safe from those. I'm pretty sure with optimal play, like, you don't have to worry about it too much. And like, I don't even think I had 2 optimal of decks here. The vulnerability on Shining Force just isn't really worth it if you don't have any like increases to the vulnerability. There's a bunch of healing cards, so you could make this more difficult. I chose to make it more easy so that I could at least have some chances of getting these. Yeah, look at that. I saw where those shards were, got them right. So yeah, it's sort of just a matching game. You just need to get the shards, and I'm forgetting where all of them are. But if I can get one more, that'd be really good. Nope, I don't. All right. Well, still, 150 shards per hero. Pretty good. Don't answer Mother, we are in a hurry. You need to guess correctly on this one. I did that once and I had to fight a boss battle. That was pretty unbeatable. So yeah, I got it correct. And here we get a really, really good option of items. So I'm going to pause for a second. Holy Rune is +1 damage to all holy damage, as well as every 2 turns apply Sanctify to all monsters. Now, of course, I'm thinking like, oh man, Otis has a free slot. That'd be really good on him. We also got Holy Book here. I think that's just happenstance. Like, I don't think that's guaranteed at all. Holy Book is, of course, great. You get an extra draw. Durandal is a new item that I hadn't had before this run. And when you play a spell, you recover 5% HP and gain 1 bless. So my goal here is to have Laya gaining 4 bless or 6 bless every turn just by playing 2 spells and having her QB going off. That way the double damage, the double attacks from her holy swords can get all that bless benefit and start doing tons of damage. So Tesseract is also maybe useful for Bree if I pick up like something insanely expensive. I get the Holy Book on Reginald because I don't really care about the healing regen that much. I'm trying to do more of the damaging stuff, and then I get the apply Sanctify as Otis. I'm debating whether or not I can deal with a hatch every round. I felt like I could do it. I had just leveled up. I felt pretty strong. Laya should have better zeal now. I think I just leveled up anyways. Man, it's hard to keep track. Yeah, it's going a little fast on some of the in-between routes. I could be wrong. Maybe I haven't leveled up yet. But anyways, I was feeling really strong after having Durandal. Like you see, Laya's got 6 bless already. I'm also hoping to have Reginald and Otis be able to add more bless to the entire team later on. They each get a card that can do that. One's a healing card, one's a block card, so it's pretty good. The thing that scares me here is the Holy Monk. He can do a lot of shadow damage, but we do have some courage. But yeah, he nearly kills Bree. And Bree unfortunately doesn't hit too often either, so she doesn't really get to heal from Sanctify as much. It's mostly dependent on like Laya getting healed from Sanctify and punching, which by the way, I don't think I talked about that at all either. Laya is really awesome, and this is the first one I've had of her as a carry, so I should talk about this. Her original passive, so level 1, is she gives 30% of the Sanctify heal to the enemies, to the allies around her when she's at full health. So Laya, with a bunch of Sanctify on the enemy team, can heal up 2 people really well, which is part of the reason I have her right behind Bree and in front of Reginald. The back person usually takes the least amount of damage, so this seemed like the most efficient place to have that passive. And I tried variations of her in the front, it didn't feel as good. Those are on the all-cleric team, though, but she is the tankiest, unlike the all-clerics. And here we go. Starfall finishes off all the spiders. So, not too bad. Could get another entrench here. Unupgraded, though. Not very exciting. Wouldn't take it even if it was upgraded. Sunbeam, I'm debating, because, like, Sunbeam's really good with Bless, and Reginald gets the most Bless out of anybody so far, just because of his natural scaling. Here, we're able to start with Zeal, which is really cool. That way, the enemy, even though he goes super fast and does all his summoning and damage immediately, like, we're pretty resistant to it. And hopefully we can take out some of these guys. Overall, as a boss, I think this guy's really cool. Is cool, like necromancy summons. They're applying debuffs every turn. My strategy is just to take out these guys first because I'm a grindy team, and like I know I'm not gonna be able to kill the boss that fast. It's gonna be a bit. Now, thankfully, like I don't have to worry about the fortify as much. Like, man, so many things have fortify, dude. Like, I feel like physical teams really just they get the short end of the stick most of the time. Then again, if you go on the Hydra fight, the final Hydra who summons other Hydras is immune to Sanctify, so that'll put a damper on this whole run. You'll just lose because you don't have any other damage if you're playing like I am, which is yeah. I found that out on a run where I tried to go Straw Hat. It wasn't worth it. I was definitely doing fine up until the Hydra. Yeah. Hey, Sanctify took out Starfall took out like half that guy's health. Felt really good. Hamstring's interesting now. I was looking at that. Not for this run though. Omen of Peril, debating it because I have like some heal cards, but not really worth it. Architect's Ring is really cool, and then Purple Seashell, like what I get. So Architect's Ring is whenever you play a skill, random hero gets an Energize and Inspire, but only one time a turn. That's great. Bree plays skills as like her main thing, so that's like all she does. So randomly, someone is going to get an Energize and Inspire. Fantastic. Seashell Ring Purple is amazing. It gives +8 on the shield charges. Otis doesn't even have a ring, and it gives +2 Bless, as well as giving +20 HP and 5% resistances. So like, it's just really incredible. Scarab Shield I thought would be kind of fun. Laia is ending up with a decent amount of block, so figure when she does block and she's likely to take a hit from all the chain attacks that hit the front hero, Scarab Shield will be cool. Plus she should be able to apply the most Zeal with her level up, because her level up gives her +2 on Zeal as well. Here I didn't really know where I wanted to go, but I'm going to go to the blue portal, because the blue portal, not really sure exactly how I feel about it, but like, I don't know. I just felt like the dragon would be easier than the other two. Well, one, I know the Hydra is impossible. This is a funny one. Like, Cloak of Speed is just a strict upgrade over the Steadfast Boots. I wasn't sure how much I was going to be relying on speed charges and like manipulating speed, but it can be very important. There's not really much else I want to spend my gold on, other than potentially pets. Getting Wolfie here, not that good because I need the Astral Howl. Reginald could pick up a pet. And then I think I remember there's actually a pet trainer that's going to be outside. So if I have enough money to get Cloak of Speed, as well as a Sharpie, I can get Dispel on my team every turn, which I think sounds pretty incredible. Yeah, I'm looking at the purples to see like what purple I'd rather have, and none of the purples look too crazy to me. I was looking at Scarabee. I don't really think he's that good. I mean, all resistances up is kind of great, but like pets die in the last act anyways, when that's like the most meaningful. Or sorry, in the final boss. At least with a slow team. And I was like, yeah, purple Sharpie though. All heroes dispel 1 and gain fast, so we can speed up the entire team. Like that seems really worth it. So if I could afford it after Cloak of Speed, which I definitely can, Reginald's going to pick up Sharpie, and yeah, just like that, we got full pets. We're going to have 2 purples, and life's pretty good. So I felt like it was a really good expenditure of money. Bree is now always going to be faster than most enemies, I think. She does have a useless potion slot right now, which is a bit unfortunate. Here, I'm looking at Laia's deck. I'm realizing I probably need more spells just so I can take advantage of Durandal. That way, I can actually like trigger it twice a turn, every turn, and have maximum effectiveness. getting all those blessed charges. I'm debating whether Sunbeam's worth it too, because it does have that split damage. Split damage cards are really good. Unfortunately, the Holy Slashes just cost a lot, so I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go with that. Realizing that I need energy, I do think delay response is pretty good. I'm not really sure what else to get here to like upgrade my decks like to maximum capacity. There's a lot of like maybe things feel good. There, I do finally move Shining Force, but I remove it from Otis's deck. Just because his deck was getting so expensive. Probably should have removed it from Laya's deck. I upgrade Clarity to keep it around and remove Sanctify. That can be very useful in Act 4 and 4.5. Carnage, I really want to get on Laya because she turns all her damage into holy damage, so Carnage could be really great as a repeat 3 double damaging card, just like it is with Sharp. Still, it's a bit expensive now after its change to be a gold, so I was feeling like maybe there's something else I could spend my money on, get better value from. Not really sure what that's gonna be. I guess I sped this down way more on this section. Kind of interesting. Holy Blast is quite good. If you have a lot of Bless, it's a good way to apply a lot of Sanctify. And then I saw Divine Strike. I'm like, right, I need Zeal. Zeal's how I'm gonna up her damage with all the burn charges on Laya. And Zeal doesn't go down as fast with her. Sorry, normally like all of it disappears, but you can have it so just 2 Zeal disappears. Also, it scales based off the amount of Sanctify, or based off of the enemies have, or based off the amount of burn that you have. So either way with Laya, I was feeling like that was going to be a really good call. I did forget about it kind of up to this point, but that is one of the original reasons I wanted to go Sanctify. Divine Power is pretty good as well as a way to buff up everybody. This is definitely a difficult shopping section. Man, I really slowed this down to base speed. I guess so I could talk about everything. I don't think it's like quite base speed, but feels close. It's maybe like 200% speed. Yeah. I make the Holy Smite cheaper for Reginald because I realized that he was having some energy issues. He does get a Holy Smite after every holy spell that he plays now, so I'm removing some more of the heals, and I'm keeping the 1 pair of healing in the deck because I felt like it still had some utility. So we have the Pet Trainer outside, things are going to start to speed up a lot. Going Purple Sharpie, like I said, that was the plan. Playing an attack, I don't really do too much of that, so I might as well get a free card upgrade. At least I felt like that. Like, Holy Slashes are an attack, but I could probably kill with just Reginald and Otis when I need to, and not worry about applying too much Fury, or just play the spells from Laya. Like, either way, I was feeling fairly confident I could handle this, though it's always a risk, you know? It's not the easiest thing in the world, and I really have to avoid playing attacks here. Which, I was like, man, I have a lot of attacks in my hand. I don't know if it's really worth playing this punch. But I wanted to get some Zeal up, and yeah, gave him all 10 Fury. See how that works out. Unfortunately, again, wasn't able to mark the front guy as much as I needed to stop him from stealthing completely, though I did get rid of some of the stealth charges that he gained, so he won't be doing as much damage as he could. Which is good for me, because I need to not die. And he's very much a guy who could kill the entire team. At least I think on like round 3, that's when he does his like huge kill move. Round 2, it's not the worst, but you don't really have a way of hitting him until round 4. Or until after he goes on round 3. Which thankfully, like, I'm slow, so most of my carries are going after he attacks on round 3 anyways. It is really nice to have a split speed team sometimes. I haven't really talked about like that strategy a lot, but like I find split speed teams generally compensate really well as long as like the faster person is the one who's like blocking the damage. And you can see like that worm just did, I think, like 150 damage to like my entire team. So thankfully Bree had entrenched, we had a bunch of block, and we could take it, but could have hurt. Could have hurt otherwise. But yeah, split speed teams are nice. You get to go after the enemy does things a lot of times, and they're hittable. Holy Fire just equals your fired or burn charges now. It is really cool. I will say one like non-optimal thing about this build is I have too many passive ways of dispelling. Like, so now that I have Sharpie, I'm dispelling things every turn. I also have the healing rains, so I'm getting rid of Laya's fire charges, which is great. Like I said, I don't want it to kill her, but I'm also having a hard time taking advantage of them with Zeal and keeping burn on me all the time. By the way, this bunny fight was very scary. I never like fighting bunnies because they're always going to be faster than your team unless you have like the fastest thing, and I decided to go with the curse that slows down my entire team because I was like, man, you know what, usually I'm going slow anyways. Bree could have outsped the bunny in this instance though, so definitely a bit of a risk to do this, and yeah, it does end up paying off, but man, I think I had to retry this fight once. That could be wrong. I don't exactly remember. I've cut out a lot of my, or some of my retries. I didn't have too many on this run, because like I said, this run was really stable. I don't think, no, I think I only had one retry where I had to do this run, so I don't think I had to retry this one at all. This one just kind of worked. Usual strategy is kill the bunny. I'm annoyed because there's another summoner who could potentially summon something, but I'm just hoping that she doesn't summon an imp. Imps aren't the end of the world, but it's just annoying to have to deal with another like HP pool. And bam, she summons an imp, and it's going fast. So, no luck for me. I just have to deal with it. But man, Laya's hitting hard now. Yeah, so she's got her Bless, she's got the Powerful. When she has burn charges and Zeal, she does even more damage. Because Zeal, I think, buffs your damage for every burn charge you have for every stack of Zeal. It's something weird, like 1%, or I think she gets like 1.5% for every burn charge per Zeal she has. So she can start doing a ton of damage if she's on fire, which is really cool. Like, I like her build, and her final level makes her immune to fire. Not just immune, she heals from her fire damage, actually. So she's not immune, she's just... she gets to keep it, which means she gets to be super fast if she's on fire, and she heals. It's fantastic. I'm just taking the straight path, because like I said, I didn't really have like too much of a plan here of what I wanted to do. I just felt like I had the items I needed. Just need to get it to Act 4, and Dragon should be the easiest way to Act 4, at least for this team. Excuse me. Gotta take a little bit of a drink there. Good old H2O. Alright, yeah, so we have Entrench, do the normal play. The champion Naga guy with 2 swords, he's also really scary. He does tons of damage. And the Heron just gave everybody courage, so the resistances are actually getting pretty high. He's got negative holy resistance right now because I don't think they're too resistant to holy in the first place, and the sanctify charges are doing their work. And that's with courage, which is pretty good. We're gonna be hitting that guy as hard as we can, but we don't even kill him before round 2, or he goes round 3. This is where he does like the most damage. Still, we're tanking really well. Otis is providing a good amount of block every time I need him to, and so is Bree. Laya is scaling. She's actually scaling faster than Reginald at this point, which makes me pretty happy, even though he has Holy Blesses and she doesn't. Or, sorry, Holy Smites. And he gets to play a free Holy Smite every turn. But yeah, my plan of having the pet and Durandal is my scaling for Laya is working out. Now, like I said, pets die in the final act, which is kind of unfortunate, but what are you going to do? I set the Scarab on fire. I'm hoping to have him do his get 150 more shards while he's left alive. So it's kind of cool. You have to make sure you target correctly. I couldn't play Starfall there as much as I wanted to because I didn't want to accidentally kill the Scarab. And Bree is keeping the team at full powerful all the time. Scarab was able to do its thing, and we get a round 5 victory. Very much like just goods on this team. Yeah, I got a purple book there. We have a fish for this guy too, so we get a little bit of a 25% discount. Not bad, but nothing there I need. We do get the torch though. The torch is nice because I think it makes the frost build up a lot less than it normally would. And then you can also unfreeze a dude in the center alley and get some small rewards there. So, pretty good. feeling fairly confident. My main goal is, I guess, like now just have enough money for the next act. And yeah, Divine Guidance is really cool. It gives you purples of any of these 3 cards exactly. It's always going to be these cards. So I figured as a ability to get a super holy spell or and do some damage, or if Otis isn't doing that much damage and needs to support some of the others by giving them some bless, he could do that with the divine empowerment or whatever that's called. Yeah, he's really strong. I do have a slash in the deck still, which is kind of funny. Like, again, I keep it because it's a free melee attack, and when I have my enchantment, it just does holy damage. So it's a good way to trigger her enchantment passive as well and apply Sanctify and Fire to everybody, which is working nicely. These new guys from the sand area are definitely kind of problems for the holy team, but they're not as bad as they are, I feel like, for the holy team as they are for like a dark application team, which, yeah. Thankfully we have dispels. I'm opting to keep the fire on Laya because I want to have her go super fast. And unfortunately she's slowed right now, but now she gets to go fast, yeah. So the fire helps her go super fast. She has enough blocks that we don't have to worry about it. And she's going to heal up with Sanctify anyways, so I don't have to care too much. And bam, she's doing so much damage when she has fire on her. That's like, with Zeal, it's just an extra like 50% damage or something like that, or more. It's really good. So we get our rewards here. We get a little bit of gold, little shards. Command and Conquer for Breed just gives everybody powerful. Now, Purge the Wicked. Okay, I'm actually... Ooh, let's see if I can go back here a little bit. Uh-oh. It's too hard. Alright, I got this. Okay, so we have the shield. We got the thing, got Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer is great. Now, Heavenly Justice. Here, I can pause on it. This... Oh, wait, not this. This is Heavenly Protection. Heavenly Protection seems fine, too. Heavenly Justice. This is way better than I thought it was. We'll see in a moment, but for every energy used, deal 6 holy damage. So that does scale with any holy damage modifiers you have on. Great. Also apply 1 burn, 1 sanctify, and 1 vulnerability to all monsters. Again, scales with any of those increases that you have, so it's going to be more sanctify, more fire, not more vulnerability, unfortunately. And then you put Purge the Wicked into your hand. Purge the Wicked. All monsters, Purge 2, fantastic, does split damage of slashing and holy, but with her enchantment, they'll both be holy damage. So, again, fantastic. Applies bleed and fire equal to, and all of this damage is equal to your Zeal times 7. So, as you can see with Zealotry, we have Zeal plus 2. Zeal on this hero increases all damage done by 1.5% per burn charge and loses 2 charges at the end of turn, so she can keep Zeal on her, unlike pretty much every other hero. So yeah, this card, I wasn't sure how well that scaling would be or how much Zeal I'd be able to do, but I think it's pretty good. And right now you can look at the Righteous Flame too that she's going to be getting eventually, where she gets burn plus 1, then burn on this hero heals 0.3 HP per charge instead of suffering damage, and then Zeal on this hero also increases damage by 7% per charge. So she's actually potentially one of the highest damage dealers in the game, just through base damage. She might beat out Grookly if she's on fire enough. I'd have to do the calculations there, because I know that Fury doesn't get as high as Fire does, but Fury also can give more percentage damage, but also Zeal doesn't I don't know. That's a lot of weird stuff, but yeah. Laya's pretty cool. Wasn't really sure how she would be as a carry, but she's good. Here I do pick up Double Bubble, because I just have such good block cards that I'm like, Solar Flare doesn't really do much, and Double Bubble does a whole lot. Like, we have purple barriers and sanctifies and prayers of protections. Like, having all that extra shielding can make a huge difference in surviving the final fight. And that's sort of what I'm banking on. Also, so can having all the, buffer. So that I'm not taking as many hits. Now, also, that is one other thing that's weird, is because Otis got like the anti-status cards, where he has a bunch of buffer to apply, it also means that Laya's not setting herself on fire every time I want her to, unless she goes and gets hit by enemies and they get rid of her buffer. Man. Reginald's such a good carry. You just you don't have to put much work into him, and you level him up, and man, he carries and applies Sanctify to everybody. It's fantastic. Now here's Heavenly Justice. I do need a high melee attack energy card to deal a lot of damage, and Purge the Wicked is doing great. 67 on the front guy, and then got 117 on the rest of the guys. Yeah, absolutely great. Tons of damage done. I'm confident Reginald can finish off the boar. We have some holy spells, and he's got bless. So we get an excellent for one of the first times, and I find a really good melee attack in Pummel, where I can repeat because I'm getting a bunch of bless on her. I'm getting a bunch. I need to spend energy on melee attacks to have her rank 4 card do good damage. So yeah, man, Pummel is exactly what I was hoping to pick up, and it's the one that targets any monster I want, which is what I need. So good things all around. More good than I was expecting. Dragon, like I said, shouldn't be too hard. I went here to make sure of that. He does stun Reginald, which is the only one who has Dispel. Kind of unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? I opt for Entrench here because I want to keep all my block rather than losing it all. Breeze, thankfully able to block enough damage from all the dragon hits. Dragon's gonna heal back up to full, but I don't really care. We can hit him as much as we want, then purge his stuff. He's going to keep all block, but he doesn't get to keep his regen. And now we're dealing real permanent damage to the dragon. Everybody's hitting super hard. Well, that's not true. Reginald and Laya are hitting super hard. Otis is doing work, you know? Otis tries. Dragon is pretty good at hanging in there. His enchantments do some work, but Laya is just crushing it. I'm oh man, Starfall. Otis did it. He finished it off. He's good. If we bless him enough, he does do work. Demonic Tutor is great. We want to have Demonic Tutor pretty much always. Getting a free card's great. And then also upgraded push forward. That's the 3 fast all heroes. Now I can start to do some more speed manipulation. Very exciting stuff. I don't have a great way to play Whirlwind in Laya's deck, so I wasn't really feeling the pickup there. If I had more energy cost reduction, it might be worth it, or if I could double it, it might be good. But as it was, didn't feel too strong. Boots of Swiftness for Laya to have more speed might be the play. Dark Hood I felt would be better than Gauntlets were on Reginald, just because it gives more resistances. 22% more is nothing to scoff at. It's very, very good. Golden Bell. This shop right here was such a pain for me to decide on. So, Dark one, always showing up on non-dark builds. Pretty much every time. Every time I go dark, it doesn't show up. Golden Bell is whenever you heal a hero, apply 2 bless. Now, who actually heals heroes the most is kind of hard to say. Because, one, we're not taking damage. We are taking damage all the time, but sometimes we're blocking damage, and sometimes we don't have the heal cards for Reginald, because Reginald at this point only has 1 or 2 heals. I wasn't counting on Golden Bell or anything. Otis does heal with his barriers, and he's going to be casting that every turn, but Otis has the Holy Rune, which is applying Sanctify every 2 turns, so his slot feels less open than I'd like. But Laya could potentially heal Reginald and Bree and herself, and even if she's just healing herself, she's likely to take damage from burn, well, at least until she gets level 5, and just from enemies in general, because she's in the spot number 2. So she's likely to be able to heal herself with the Sanctify hits, and that would apply 2 bless to her every time she does. So yeah, it was a pretty good pickup, but man, was it a hell of a choice. And Reginald had a very open slot because all he had was combat bandages, so it was hard to decide between that and the other one. And also Dreamcatcher is another very good item for Otis to have more shield charges and have more buffer. I'm going to take some time deciding on this. I think I even take a break in between because I need to figure it out. Archmage Book is also incredible, +2 damage and draw 1 every time you draw 1 for 2 times a turn every time you play a spell. Very, very strong. So yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, she heals 30. Oh, sorry, she heals 35% of the health that would have healed her at her sides if she's at full health. So she's doing some good stuff. Archmage book would be proccing pretty often for Reginald, Otis, and Laia. Would be pretty good for all of them, I feel like. The cards that I need are Divine Strike. I need Divine Strike. I was hoping to pick up a Mass Dispel too, because this is a really grindy team. And we kind of need Mass Dispel to make sure that enemies don't overpower us with too many charges of like poison, vulnerability, weakness, stuns, whatever, you name it. I don't think there's like that many stuns, but there's some. So we really need that on either Reginald or Otis, but again, that diminishes their capacity for carrying, and at this point I'm feeling like Otis probably just isn't carrying as much as I need him to. So I'm going to lean into his support side a bit more with his deck. He'll still be applying Sanctify with Starfall, and that's going to be my main use for him, is a Starfall utility Sanctify like applier. A very weird way to use one of the best cards in the game for damage. But I feel like it's worth it. Keeping that Sundering Strike in deck, just so I have constant ways to apply vulnerability. Finally get rid of that Shining Force. Yeah, it just wasn't very good, unfortunately. Holy Slash, I don't think I need all 4 of them. I also don't need Inner Fires anymore. I feel like Bree's doing a really good job at keeping us powerful. We also have Command and Conquer now, which will add to that. She'll be able to keep us powerful more of the time. So yeah, I feel like I can get rid of my Inner Fires, though I do keep one that gives me draw and sets me on fire, because again, I'm like, man, I need to be on fire, and I'm having a hard time being on fire. I should probably get rid of Healing Rain. But I can't get rid of Healing Rain until I get to the last like level of Laia. Because I need her to not die to all her burn charges. That's pretty much the difficulty here. Now, Divine Strike's also a very expensive card, and I do want the one that hits any monster, not just the front monster. Now, which one is going to do more damage is debatable. I'm thinking I don't set myself on fire as much as I'd like to, but this one does give me more zeal, 2 more zeal in fact. So it could do even more damage. It's a tricky situation. Like, but I know that Sanctify is always going to be on monsters, at least for the most part. Like, they're not getting rid of that. And I'm not always going to be on as much fire as I'd like. Also, there's an interesting difference in that the one that goes off Sanctify applies bleed, but the one that goes off fire applies fire. I don't really think that makes like a huge difference. I mean, bleed obviously isn't affected by block, but I don't know, like it's not huge. Oh yeah, I know that I need, oh yeah, there's some cards I'd like to get rid of. Right. I want to get rid of Holy Nova. I don't feel like it's doing a lot, though I want a spell to replace it. I want to get rid of Holy Slash, but I can't afford Golden Bell if I get rid of any more cards. And so whether I wanted to fix all my decks up, because I still have a lot of cards I need to get rid of in Reginald's. I know I have a card I need to get rid of in Otis's deck. And then Laia has 2 cards I want to get rid of. But I would not have Golden Bell, and Golden Bell seems too good to pass up. So yeah, Laia's going to take it here. It is the best for her, and then I wish I had more gold for more card removal. There's also the argument for Mass Dispel here. Now, Mass Dispel, like, you want it to stay in your deck, so you want the upgraded version. Sacred Ceremony would be kind of cool. Sanctuary on Otis is really good, because it applies Bless on everybody, and gives them all block. All these cards that I'd really like. I'm going to go for Sanctuary, and then I'm going to get the Divine Strike that only hits the front, because I could afford both of them. That way I at least have them in the decks, and I'm really, really hoping for some free upgrades later. Or my plan is just to upgrade it later, and I'm hoping that the front monster strike doesn't mess me up too much. I will say the Sanctify charge Divine Strike does stay in the deck, whereas the other one doesn't, so I think that's why the Sanctify charge Divine Strike is better. I honestly don't know why they have the other one get removed from the deck, Maybe it's more damage than I'm expecting. Yeah. Trying to see what I can upgrade. Having daily response stay in the deck would be pretty good. Having another clarity, or just a clarity stay in the deck for Otis would probably be pretty good. Because at this point, I'm using him as more support than I am damage. But again, you know, he's got Starfall. Still Starfall Otis. He's still cool. Getting rid of that, or changing the Holy Slash so that it doesn't provide me Zeal, but can hit any monster. It's very interesting, like, card to try out. I think I'm getting enough Sanctify from other sources, but it might have actually been better to have 2 Holy Slashes that were giving me Zeal, just so I could always have it. Zeal doesn't stack, though, and there's no way to make it stack as far as I know, so there's not really much of a point. I do go up because I'm hoping that my Moonstone will, like, work at the Forge, even though it doesn't have a marker there. It doesn't. But I don't really have anywhere else to go. Like, the shop's pointless. I don't have money. I can't go through the middle, so no real point to that. Might as well go up and hope for an item in the... God, I forget what the event is called after this, but there's a way to get some items. It's a pretty low chance if you don't have a lot of high-costing cards, which we don't. So, it's worth a shot, but I'm not really counting on it. I'm just hoping it doesn't, like, mess me up. This act I am a little bit worried about, because now we're starting to get into the act where guys are resistance to Holy by quite a bit if they're, like, the Holy Knight. Like the Superman up here and his giant sword. My strategy is going to be not to deal with him and to kill everybody else first, because I need to do that. This is where I had to retry a fight. Yeah, I remember this specifically now. Oof, yeah. Oh yeah, we did have that repetition training, so that we are able to get a melee attack out of our graveyard, or discard pile. Not graveyard, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! And have it reduced by 1 permanently. So I figure a 1-cost pummel is pretty good. But yeah, this fight I had to retry because the Lancer, when left alive, just ended up murdering me with the entire team. Or murdering the entire team, like, with the big sword guy. Like, those two just did AoEs that, like, yeah, it just killed everybody. It was pretty terrible. So... Thankfully, I'm able to do enough damage to kill both the gun guy and the monk this turn, and then, like, Otis can finish us off. That was a really tricky one. Bouncing Shield was something I was hoping to find, because I do change its damage to Holy, so that could be pretty great. And then Enrage was also something I was hoping to find for Bree, because I felt like she needed energy. And now she should have it. She has an energy card in her deck. Critical Failure, low self-esteem was gained. That's pretty rough. I wasn't really expecting much from the event, but I was hoping it wasn't gonna mess me up. I reap what you sow, I guess. Like, chances are. Not the worst thing in the world, but, like, having a useless card in deck can really make a difference. And here is, like, one of the first turns I'm not drawing my enchantment from the start. So it looks like I'm really struggling, like, figuring out how much energy to spend here. It's kind of sad. I struggled a lot with that play. There's that low self-esteem to remind me of how badly I failed. Oh, man. But we got Innervates here, so we're getting some energy up. I know that I need energy on Laya. Bree doesn't have any energy problems anymore, if she did at all. I'm hoping to pick up some really expensive block cards with Bree, because I feel like I'm going to need it. Titanfall was a cool pickup, like... It does do a decent amount of damage. It is a melee attack. I don't have, like, the most health in the game, and when it does holy damage, like 300, 400 damage is pretty good. Applies vulnerable too. Of course it goes out of the deck, but does what I needed to. Oh man, look at Otis. Look at that Starfall. So good. So Otis. But here we go. Alright, yeah, we got Holy Slashes, finishing them off. 172 per hit, so good. Alright, so Perseverance, another purple block card for Otis. Enrage for Bree, fantastic, because it's a free card when she draws it. Sacred Ceremony, I'm hoping to upgrade it later. So it costs 4, so that Reginald can heal and bless the entire team. This is a card removal. I need to do this. Yeah, this fight was also hard. I want to say I had to repeat this fight too. You know, I think I was thinking of a different run where I only had to repeat one fight. Yeah. I don't think I had to repeat any fights actually earlier on. I think it was just these fights up here. Because yeah, this was pain. The fire guy is really rough, but so is the silence guy. They're really tricky. We are able to get 7 vulnerability on them, but the silence guy, he has a debuff where if you hit him, he will silence you. And yeah, I'm not able to play Heavenly Judgment and like a huge melee attack. I do get rid of their bonuses right there, and I do that primarily just so I can ensure the silence guy is going to go down. I don't have to hit him anymore, and I probably didn't need to go that hard with Laya, but it's not going to hurt too much. Now, Flamey Ignito Man here, we are able to take his bombs pretty well. Maybe, God, I'm like, did we? No, you know what? I'm thinking of the past run. I don't think we had to retry this fight at all. I think I had to retry the Ignito fight in, well, a run that'll be coming out a week after this. So, yeah. I went ham and just like did 2 runs already, so before I've uploaded this one, I need to, I'm a little bit behind. Holy Fire is doing some good work now. That's only with 31 burn charges. So I'm excited to see what I can get up to. If I can get to like 30 or 200 burn charges, that will look really cool. Of course, I'd be dead right now, but once I hit level 5, burn charges are all heals. It'll be great. The Sharpie might not let me get to that until the final fight. At which point, I will also be receiving less bless per turn because my QB that casts Holy Smite will die. Man. Oh yeah, man, I guess all this stuff with Reginald could be insane now. Durandal with QB on Reginald. Reginald could actually be a carry now, man. He was kind of a carry before. Like, he was always like the best scaler, I felt like, of the clerics. Not in that like he had the most potential, but in that he didn't really need any support to go down. Oh yeah, this guy's immune to Sanctify. This guy's a huge pain. He's also got decent Holy Resist to start with, so like, I'm doing nothing to him. Man. Yeah, that's rough. I'm getting my bless up slowly, turn by turn though. And then if I can vulnerability him, I know that I'll be able to do an amount of damage. Getting a lot of draw on Laya. It's pretty good. I don't deal as much damage with the bouncing shield anymore. But yeah, I have enough bless. Everything works out. Crescent Light's kind of cool. There's an upgraded Sacred Ceremony, so like I'm gonna take that because I don't want to have to pay to upgrade. Crescent Light, I don't know. I probably should have gotten it. I didn't take it because I didn't really have energy, and I wanted to just Divine Strike, and I felt like that was going to be the best thing. Here I can at least remove more cards. Thankfully, that last fight allowed me to get rid of all the what's it called? Oh man, the shameful reminders. See, I'd already forgotten them. They weren't a reminder at all once they got out of my deck. Get rid of the other Sacred Ceremony. I don't need 2 in the deck. It's way too expensive. Can't really afford it. Otis's deck is just so expensive, and like I'm not playing Holy Smite that often. It might come up like turn 5, and then I might have like 2 extra bless for Otis. So I didn't really see it as worthwhile to keep in. I can remove another card. Thorns aren't the worst thing for a Sanctified team to fight again, so it's one of the nice things about this team. So we can take this specific challenge. I do opt for the Empowerment and Speed Up here, though, rather than the Entrench, because I'm feeling like I'm not going to need the block. This Lava Man isn't going to be as hard because he is not immune to Sanctify, thankfully. Man, that was rough. I am targeting down the Lancer again, though, because I'm so worried about him killing me. After the fight I had initially with the big Nightman and Lancer, I was just like, dude, this guy's gonna get me. I need to get this guy down. Man, I also cannot decide what I want to do here. No Divine Guidance because I can't afford to play the other card that comes after it. Look at that, they do a Sacred Heal. And theirs applies Zeal. That's kind of mean. Okay, yeah, so I do have to retry. I have to retry this fight. Good. I'm glad I kept that in. I know I kept like some of the retries in. I just didn't want to go through all of them because after my recording, I don't remember them exactly. So yeah, I know I need to kill a little bit faster than I did, so that's why I'm opting for the well, rather, I need to block a little bit better than I did too, so I opt for the entrench instead. I'm hoping that the block that I get will be enough to not have Bree die immediately. Because having someone go down before this final fight could be really, really challenging. And I don't want to deal with that. Having a Death's Door in your deck is not great. Heavenly Justice comes up. That's good. I can get rid of all the thorns. I want to do it with Divine Strike, but then I realized that my shield just does more damage. It gets rid of all my block, but that's not that important. So yeah. I don't know, maybe Divine Strike would have done even more damage after the fact, though. I only had 2 Zeal, so like... Ooh, there's an argument that I should have done that. There goes all our fire, though. Don't have to worry about it anymore, because Sharpie dispelling 1 every turn is great. I definitely think that was a worthwhile pickup, even though it does work as a bomb bow, getting rid of my fire charges all the time with Laya, but right there it just saved their life, so... Yeah. There's gives and takes, and considering I fought 2 Ignitos, 1 who was immune to Sanctify, like I think I would have just been straight dead if I didn't have a way to get rid of it. Could have killed Ignito, but with Holy Fire, but oh, I guess I was going to do that anyways. There we go. Angel proc their heal. They got to heal back up to basically full because they're a jerk. Do Sacred Ceremony. Reginald still does decent damage even while buffing the entire team. And here it's basically impossible to die. We have so much buffer on us, and we got a bunch of blocks, so 1 Angel cannot defeat us. Yeah, tough fight. Really tough fight. We had to retry it. It's not that... This is one of those weird teams, because like it definitely gets harder when you go to Act 4 when you rely on just holy damage and Sanctify. And you don't have any other split sources of damage. Like, not really. I have fire, but like, not a lot. Yeah. Ooh, Meditate's great. Citadel. Upgraded Citadel. All heroes. Is really great. Something I don't realize, but I will realize later, is the Tesseract can reduce the cost of Citadel to 7. So it's even more likely I can play it. It's fantastic. Demonic Tutor, usually pretty good. Gives you the cards you want. Gotta take. I do have the remove card here. Yeah, I'm gonna remove some more cards because, I mean, it's good just to make sure you're keeping the deck. And like, you know, those like 4 cards or 5 cards I said I want to remove in town. Somehow, like, between town and like at this point, I had forgotten all of what those cards were. So I'm not even sure I removed them all. Yeah, plan here. Take out the Shadow guy first. Starfall is a bit unfortunate in this fight because it's a random attack, and you don't want to randomly hit the guy who's gonna like blow up your entire team every time he gets hit. These guys are really tanky, and the Holy Warrior is quite rough in the sense that he resists a ton of holy damage, and he's gonna apply the debuff to us that heals him, or sorry, the enchantment to us that heals him 2% every time we play a card. Well, it heals the lowest guy, but I'm assuming that we can take out the Dark Boy, otherwise we'd just probably die anyways. And I'm also hoping that Bree can build up enough block and have enough HP to survive their terrifying onslaught. So, yeah, this is a fight where I had to really pay attention to their mechanics. It's kind of rough to to go up against them. I think I had to redo this fight a few times. Because, like, yeah, you can see here, I'm healing them all up. And, like, I think on, like, turn 5, they just, like, get so much block that they're going to, like, one-shot any hero in front. Yeah, so I show one of my redos here. Because the first way I did that, Bree just died instantly. That's not going to fly. We need to have our Bree survive until at least we kill one of them. That way we can keep powerful going on the entire team. I was happy that I was able to play 7 vulnerability. I don't have powerful on the entire team, so it's probably not like super worth it. But yeah, the 7 vulnerability will make a big difference. Deciding whether repetition training was good to have early or not. I at least do get the enchantment on Laya early on. I get Holy Crusader early on too, though there's an argument for saving it. Yeah, so this boss fight, I think I spent like a good amount of time on. I forget how much exactly, but it was really, really challenging. Because these guys are just, they're good in the grind. I guess that's like the best way to put it. And then like my bouncing shield was really my ace in the hole, as it often is. Like, I think it just did over 1,000 damage to that guy. So really good damage. We don't have Law of Light on us just yet. So he's not healing up, he's just getting barrier. We are applying dark to ourselves and blowing up occasionally, but that's okay. Protection from evil being doubled is great. I'm going to keep the second one because I don't think I need the block. I just want the buffer later. Laya also is in danger of losing her enchantment on this fight, the one that makes all her damage holy. So it's something you have to watch out for, because I had her go before they applied the debuff, or sorry, their enchantment. So yeah, the speed the speeds on this fight was a really tricky thing to manage, and you want to make sure that they're going at the right pacing for for not stacking all the block that they possibly could. And what I mean by that is, like, basically they'll alternate turns on which one of them is giving block to the other, and if they go one right after the other on that alternating turn and get a block right after the other, like, they will just one-shot your team because their scaling based on block is insane. Still, I do a ton of damage with the Purge right there. I was very, very happy. I wasn't sure I could get him down enough. I'm surviving the onslaught with the blocks. Battle Shout, thankfully, at least gives the... God, what's that called? Reinforce. So I do have a bit better resistances on Bree for tanking the physical damage that they deal. And we have Courage as well, so we tank the holy and dark damage that they deal. So yeah, we just have to alternate damaging them. I wanted to take out the back guy before, like, they got to go multiple times, but it just wasn't working out. Very tricky fight, like I said. And they are going one right after the other now, and like now I really wish I had a slow. This is where God, Shining Force or whatever it's called would have been extremely useful. Oh man, I keep not having... Did I have my melee attack? I probably could have repetition training into a good melee attack there. It's an interesting choice of targets there. Yeah, I think it's because, like, I'm planning on killing the back guy. Thankfully, Bree just barely survives. That's with like 8 mitigate, reinforce, like no vulnerability, and 4 zeal. Like, oh my goodness. She was super resistance, and they just like, they almost whacked through all of that. These guys do stupid damage with their blocks. I actually think they're a bit overtuned. Like, if you're not killing them fast, I don't, like, they're one of the hardest fights in the game for the grind. For the grindy team. Like, I think they're harder than the final boss for the grindy team. And that goes for like most grindy teams. There's my free Starfall, that's cool. I opt to sacrifice Bree at this point. I'm like an hour into fighting this boss. This was a pain. But I'm getting there. I can feel victory nearing. And all I have to do is have Laya survive here, and she does. I'm like, man, I can take her out. Cool. Okay. No problems, right? I'm like, man, okay, Laya might die, but that's fine. Nope, Shield Slam just almost kills Laya and then kills Otis. We heal back up to full, like, immediately afterwards. But I don't want Reginald to die, because I realize Laya can't really finish him off, and I just don't want more Death's Doors in the deck. But Reginald's able to do it. That took so long to actually, like, win. That was over an hour. I made a trip to the grocery store and back before I came back to that fight, because, like, man, that was impossible. Thankfully, we get some good cards for our troubles and managed to continue the run. Last stand here. We get to reveal 3 defense cards from our pile and then put them into our hand. I don't want this version of Last Stand, but if I can get the one that makes them cost 0, and we only get 2 cards. 2 cards, I think. That's what I really want. The upgraded Meditate is really good here. Sorry about the coughing. Again, another Meditate is just also good. And Sanctify for doubling all the Sanctify, or Sanctification for doubling all Sanctify is really good. Now, Holy Grail, man, what a card. Ups your Bless and Sanctify charges, really, really good. Penitence Ring, also really, really good. Cloud Song is probably the best thing we have here. But Obsidian Dagger isn't terrible for Laya, but I can't go with another weapon on Laya because Durandil is her best way of scaling right now and playing 2 spells a turn. And Cloud Song can make it so that I don't worry about my energy as much as I have been. Unfortunately, it does mean I have to get rid of the bell. And at this point, I really wish I'd given the bell to Otis, because like everybody else is fine on energy, and Laya needs energy the most to do the most damage. Now, Penitence Ring would be very, very good for Laya. Like, she does, well, it'd be pretty good for Laya. She's applying a good amount of Sanctify. She's not applying the most on the team. I think that still goes to Otis. Or it goes to Reginald, one of the two. But yeah, Reginald, he has a decent book right now, and Otis has nothing as a good weapon, so I'll just give him the extra Sanctify and Bless charges. We finally get our level 5. We have Righteous Flame. We do have 2 Death Doors in our decks, one in Breeze, one in Otis's. Reverberation makes it so that I don't have energy problems ever again for Reginald and Otis. Arguably, I could have gotten Dome of Light on Otis. It might have been better just to have more shielding, because I kind of needed the extra block. I was realizing I wasn't getting to like the max 200 shield like you normally do with a Otis that is full block and support oriented. But still, after this, it's not too bad. All I have to do is remember to change my last stand so that makes it cost 0 and get rid of the Death Doors in the decks. And then I'm feeling like my decks are pretty complete. If there are any cards I was hoping for, it'd be, I guess I have to upgrade my Divine Strike as well. That's one other thing I have to do. Also, goodbye, Bree. Man, I'm getting no breaks here. Oh, that's so rough. I think I went for the easier fight here as well, because like I needed something that was possible. Ah, God. These double knights are quite painful. Yeah. Bree just dies. Like, there's nothing I can really do about it. The draws just were not with me to have her survive that. So I'm hoping I can do the rest of this fight without Bree. Giving Zeal to Laya so that she does as much damage as possible. She does have Burn. Now she has 4 Zeal as well, and she's got that max damage. Plus she's got, what's it called? Her level up. So yeah, she just wipes like pretty much the entire enemy force, which is not something I was expecting, but that's those burn charges and Zeal charges at work. Right, because she gets more damage for every Zeal charge she has now by 7% as well. So Laya just became like the best holy carry I've seen. No, I don't know. Otis was really good too. Here we do get Sanctuary on Otis, but I opt not to take it because I need Mass Spell more than I need the Sanctuary and adding Bless. Plus I already had one in his deck, so I felt like it was okay. We failed to get our increase here, but all I need is Divine Strike. Yeah. That wasn't all I needed, though. Here I opted to get another fight because I just wanted more card rewards. So I noticed it straight away. I'm like, oh, right, my last stand. I needed to change that and upgrade it. This is what I get for taking a little bit of a break in between that boss fight and finishing out the run. I did this the next morning. Totally forgot that I needed to change my last stand. It happens. It's not the end of the world, but it does kind of suck because I could have had free Citadel there potentially, or free Entrenches. Instead, they get cost reduced by 2. Not very good. But so it goes. This fight was like a little bit scarier than I thought it was going to be. Or rather, the enemies that showed up scared me more than I thought they would, because I'm like, right, I forgot like what you fight here. I wanted another fight for more card rewards, but you do fight 2 guys who could potentially silence your whole team, and then like these guys who apply courage. The orbs can deal decent damage too, and then I got silenced, but thankfully Laya does damage in both melee attacks and spells, so Laya's really cool. Like, her getting disarmed or silenced is definitely not the end of the world. It definitely, like, sucks, but it's not that bad. God, Bree has 100 crack on her already. Dude, these orbs are insane. This is why we need mass dispels and regular dispels and everything else so that we can keep people alive. I am able to heal up Bree a little bit, but you can see our healers being split between damaging and healing. Definitely is not getting us up to the numbers you'd hope. Bree was at less than half health there. Now Divine Strike, still the best card in our deck. Thankfully, I upgraded it so it can hit anyone and stays in the deck. Fantastic damage. Laya is wiping entire teams now. Like, it's so good. I'm very happy with the way that Laya turned out, because, like, honestly, up until her level 4 transformation, I wasn't really feeling her as a carry. It felt very wonky and hard to, like, make it work. But she's doing great. So there's Meditates, there's another Mass Dispel, so now I'm really upset that I passed up the stay in your deck Sanctify, but, you know, I used to pick up Meditate with Otis, and then I get Omniscience. Omniscience gives me Bless on Laya, so I'm hoping that that'll do well. Able to remove more cards from my deck. I have to figure out what I want to do. Yeah, there's an argument to remove Last Stand now because it's not very useful. Doesn't get out Omniscience. I need to remove that Holy Nova. I finally remembered that I needed to remove it. I have more spells in my deck now, so I don't really care. Yeah, Prayer of Healing's not been useful at all. I don't think I've played it the last, like, 7 times it showed up. I'm keeping the Holy Smites in the deck, so I've continued scaling with Reginald. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. No. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of too much else. My deck feels fairly solid. They're all a little bit thick, but sometimes having a thick deck in the final fight isn't that bad, actually, because like the amount of sads and stuff that the boss puts in, and the amount of like stuff that they put in front of your deck. Like, it's really bad if you have one specific thing you want to do. Hey, I'm like, is Sunbeam doing what I want it to do? Do I need Detoxify anymore? Probably don't need Detoxify anymore, honestly. But yeah, I just go. Bree could get Bouncing Shield. That's not that crazy, though. Each hero getting a free card upgrade? That's crazy. Not that I have that many cards that I want to get, but I realized that I can finally get Last Stand and transform it to its other version. It does use up your card upgrade when you do that, but it's so worth it in this case because I'm like, yeah, Last Stand's pointless in my deck. I'm pretty sure like I kept it in my deck just on the off chance that I could get an upgrade like last second, and it worked. So it was a gamble that paid off, but I'm really happy it did. I give the Zeal and Heal to Bree there because I'm just worried about her survival. This Storm guy is also kind of scary, but he's really only scary if you have like a taunt on your team, like a Heiner. Because he applies all the wet and like lightning charges to one dude, and it then repeats like 6 times, and it's insane. Rather than spreading it over the entire team. So yeah. Here I go with the Double Sanctify. I know I have the Imps, like the Devil's Charge, in case I need it. Like, in case I had to restart this fight, I felt like there are a lot of ways I could make myself more safe. But I ended up not needing to. Man, I'm not even playing those other, gosh, what's it called? Battle Shouts. Divine Strike, 220 damage alongside the Purging Strike. It's so nice. Man, Laya's working out. I also have to say, like, Laya's one of my favorite character designs. I love giant glowing holy swords. Like, that aesthetic and theme just is really cool to me. I'm sure there's many who aren't a fan, but I don't know. It's awesome. So I'm very happy that she's actually a really good carry in the late game. She could probably be a pretty good carry in the early game too if you invested a lot into her, but I didn't. There's Crescent Light on Otis. Might as well take it because I have the benefit of reducing its cost whenever I play a Holy Spell. So felt like that was fine. Divine Guidance has been a fine card. It disappears, so it's pretty alright. Blood Rage is interesting because I actually need energy straight away rather than energy later. So Blood Rage, I think, is actually better than Meditate in a very weird way. Not only that, but also because it hurts me. Although I don't have the Golden Bell anymore, so maybe actually, maybe I'm wrong about that. Although I was thinking that at the time. I was like, man, Blood Rage seems like a good play. Over Meditate, which gives you energy later. But I do really need the energy straight away. So she's able to get that for herself now. By the way, I did pick up like Guardian Angel on Reginald. I kind of like skipped over that because I accidentally took Guardian Angel. I did that at like the end of Act 4. It has its uses. I didn't get rid of it because I was like, you know what? Sometimes a pocket invulnerability saves the day. It's not always like the most clutch thing, but it saves the day sometimes. Here we get a chance to potentially... Oh yeah, we get our free upgrade. So I am able to upgrade that barrier card. And finally, Otis has a barrier card that'll stay in the deck. Sorry, shield card. Need to like actually use proper names. Omniscience upgraded seemed like it would be okay just to save me 1 energy. And I'm like, sure. 1 energy on Omniscience is fine. 1 last chance to remove cards here, but you know what? My decks, they're perfect. That Intimidate, those 3 Helping Hands, Blood Rage, it's all exactly what I need. Can't imagine making a more perfect deck. I think Sunbeam could go. Maybe I'll end up getting rid of it. I forget, honestly. There's an argument to get the double Sanctify card and keep that in Otis's deck as well, but I was thinking I didn't really need it. I felt like comfortable with my Sanctify application. But man, stumbling over my words at this point, but we're almost to the end. Fighting this final fight. The Wizard... Yeah, I don't know. After like the Golems fight, I was like pretty sure that was going to be the hardest fight in the game. I wasn't too worried about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Citadel charge there. I have 3 block cards in my deck, and I missed on that, picking 2 out of 3, so that's how it goes sometimes. Not really much point in doing too much damage. I opted not to make the entire team, or rather, I made sure that the entire team wouldn't go faster than the clones before I did this, because I know I need to hit the clones as hard as possible. Otherwise, they're just going to heal everybody back up and do their own damage and stuff. But like, yeah, I just didn't have a turn where I could do as much as I needed to. The boss is going slower than Bree, so that's at least nice. I can get all my block back up. There goes all my pets, so my scaling on Laya is going to be a little 2 bless worse every turn, not to mention the damage that the pet was dealing. Now, I do want Divine Strike here, just so I can purge all the fast on these clones, and hopefully, yeah, get Bree going faster than they do. Now, Bouncing Shield is doing a lot, and I might not have another turn where I have as much block as this, because I had Citadel go off. So, yeah, it was a gamble on whether I wanted to do it or not, but I kind of wanted to save it. Honestly, I think it was best to play it there, though. This fight, I think with enough Dispel and stuff, it's not like the scariest in the world. The craziest thing he does is transform all your fire into dark. Oh yeah, Otis is dealing the damage. But yeah, that's like, it's a death sentence for Laya if she has a bunch of fire, but like we're dispelling it so fast that like she doesn't really get the chance. Now, here I do have more block finally, but the Divine Strike ends up doing more damage than the Bouncing Shield, which is great. Like, I'm happy that the super made for the run card is doing more work. It'd be sad if it wasn't, because Bouncing Shield is like, I'm not even going optimal with it right now. But yeah, here we go. Well, I've got to change this music. Yeah, final fight. Divine Strike, Laya's doing work. Man, I don't know about you, but I enjoy seeing seeing this. Sorry, my commentary is like devolving to just enjoying the spectacle of the fight. Almost to the end of it now. Again, this fight wasn't too hard. I did it first try, no problem. The Archon fight is a bit scarier. I have Citadel in the opening hand. It's fine because I got Battle Plan. This is what Bree Battle Plan's all about, but I didn't draw the last stand, so I'm not going to be able to do the last stand Citadel combo, at least this turn. I opt for just playing all my skills instead. I get my block card out and get a bunch of draw, so with the block, I'm confident I have enough to survive that initial onslaught. I also wanted to make sure that Laya didn't go before the boss. That way we could all target the clone. Because if this clone goes, he gets rid of all your Energize and all your Inspire, and it's just a huge pain in the butt. So I need to make sure we could either slow him down or kill him this turn. And we can slow him down if I wanted to, because I could purge the speed. But I opt not to. I guess I'm confident in my killing. Or maybe I'm believing in my ability to just, what's it called? Slow him down some other way that I'm not thinking about. Which I don't even know what that would be. Oh, that's right. I'm going to protection from evil. That was my hope here. So getting 6 buffer on everybody is also pretty much the same as making sure he doesn't go, because his debuff is just that. It's a debuff. So if you have buffer, you block it, which is great. So yeah, I didn't actually... Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot that my buffer situation was going to make that work. My strategy paid off. I think I was going to restart the fight in case it didn't work out and he like killed me after that or something like that. I'm not really sure. Because I could have purged the fast from him and then potentially had Bree go first, then sped up the whole team. So there's another way of me going faster and making sure the clone didn't go. But yeah. 5 block is not enough for bouncing shield, unfortunately. But hey, I'm at like 4 zeal. I was at 6 zeal when I played my big card. Got the Holy Smites, got more flash kills. I can just basically AoE dominate the other guy. I'm like, man, you know who needs Bless? Otis needs Bless. And powerful. Let's give the man a chance to shine, you know? Hey, he's doing like 40 something damage. Yeah, that's good work. He's trying. Poor Otis. I feel like I let him down this run. Here's me just like making up for him. Like, yeah, up to 16 bless you go, buddy. You're gonna do work with that Starfall, I swear. Oh man, my confidence is so high. Now Citadel's not in my deck for the last stand, so I kind of don't want to play it. It's in my discard pile, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I'll have enough energy next turn where I can just hard play Citadel. So it's totally fine. And then hopefully that'll give me enough block for bouncing shield to be worth it, which is reduced by 2 now permanently. So pretty good. Pummel's doing great there. I do explode myself with Dark. Not the best. Everybody gets weakened. I'm at 2 Doom with Laya. I actually do need to give her that Doom card. Here I get a free Sanctuary. Pretty good. Bless everybody up. So yeah, look, Otis, Laya, and Reginald. They're all similar levels of Bless now. Dispel would probably... Yeah, I think I need to Mass Dispel here. Yeah. Rather than Sanctuary buffing everybody up, because getting rid of that weakness is huge. There's Crescent Light. Just doesn't do a lot without the clone. Definitely Crescent Light showed up at the wrong times. But that's okay. This guy needs more vulnerable, but he had buffer. Didn't realize that, so I actually wasn't able to apply the max vulnerable on him. Now he's back to his Holy Resistance phase, which actually isn't too bad. He got rid of a lot of his charges. So like it's annoying to have to apply again, and Divine Strike isn't going to do as much damage as I'd like, but hey, Divine Strike only costs 2 now, and I am up to 6 Zeal and a decent amount of Fire, so I'm doing well. Doing okay, at least. Arguably, I needed that Courage on Otis and not Laya, because Laya is fine. Otis is dying. A little bit of a clumsy mistake there. He is... unfortunately also down on Sanctify now because he reduced all those charges, but I'm hoping that next turn, that's the turn I'll get him, because that's when he's resistant to Dark. And I can do really good work with all the holy damage that I'm dealing. Now, we have Citadel, but I didn't have enough energy to play it because he actually reduced my energy with his Bell card, which made me very sad. Like, I didn't get to play Citadel this entire boss fight. At least I don't think I did. It was just like, you know, one of the best block cards in the game when you do pull it off. So it's sad. It's not the end of the world, but I don't know. It upsets me a bit. Guardian Angel, I'm like, I should play it because I can, right? I'll make Laya invulnerable. That'll be good. Definitely does something. Man, my draw got neutered by this guy. I do really need to go faster. There we go. There's push forward. Yeah, I need to make sure that they go faster so I can deal damage this turn and not wait till the next turn. There we go. Got Divine Strike going. Got the Bouncing Shield. I don't think Bouncing Shield's ever going to get better. Man, it's going to round 6. Otis is hurt. Yeah, he really needed that courage. I mean, I guess he didn't need it, you know? Like, he didn't die, so he's good. Let's see. Yeah, we have that Protection from Evil that I kept in Otis's deck earlier. This is how I would normally apply a bunch of Sanctify, but it's not going to hit him a lot, so Starfall's not going to do the best. Now we get the vulnerability back up on him, so even when he goes back to his holy resistance, it's going to be fine. I'm not playing the Doom cards as much anymore because I need the speed. I also just feel like I can kill him in 2 more rounds, or at least I hope I can, because he's going to get really difficult later. But yeah, it's a tricky situation. Ooh, oh right, she has buffer, so I was able to play the Doom on Bree. That was fine. And then here we go. We can get Starfall on him again, which is like, it's great that the Starfall is working out. It's doing exactly what I need to do when applying a ton of Sanctify. But I need more. I need more than what I'm doing. There goes Citadel again. Don't have enough energy to play it. I have to keep playing, probably because I have to keep playing these Sundering Armors to keep his vulnerability up. I think that was like the miscalculation. I was so sure I was going to be able to play it again. I saved energy this time just so I could play Citadel if it showed up on the next turn, because I figured I'd need it if I have any hope of surviving. Bouncing Shield's now useless, even at 1 cost, because I have no block. And I'm at the point where I have to play a Doom card on Laya, otherwise she will die. I wish I could have only undone her slow. There's Martyrdom though. There's Delay Response. So I should be able to... Oh man. Yeah, I'm just going to Starfall instead of Delay Response. That makes sense. She has enough energy. She even has Draw. Hey, there's Citadel. Oh yeah. Like, take a second. Those are multiple seconds, by the way, because, like, you know, this is all sped up footage, so I took my time to play that card. Oh yeah. Finally get that going. Feels so good. And it, like, just in time, like, I'm doing a bunch of damage as well. But hey, the grinding team is doing its work. Like, we were in round 9 and we're still hanging with this guy. Master Spells are keeping us in the game. Like I said, I think Master Spell is just, like, necessary on a grindy team. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you do a grindy team without clerics. You probably just need to, like, I don't know, get 400 block every turn. Maybe warriors do it. Yeah, warriors are pretty good. They could probably do it. Maybe, like, a ton of evasion. Because otherwise, this guy just kills you with statuses. No, yeah, evasion wouldn't even work. This guy would just blow you up with dark. We did get to 50 bless and 50 on both Laya and Reginald. And yeah, that finishes up the run. So I wasn't sure who was doing the most damage and carrying early on the run. I felt like maybe it was Reginald was still doing better than Laya, but Laya was doing some work for sure. Otis did pretty good. Going through all the decks really quick, just so you can see their final decks, final items. Then we'll take a look at these stats. And there we go. Yeah, Laya actually did great. She got 54,000 damage, which I think is actually some of the highest damage I've seen on a carry. And most of it was direct. A lot of it was like 3,000 of it. Yeah, 3,500 something. It was like burn and bleed. Also kind of cool. And I want to say that, like, most of that damage was in Act 4 after she got level 4. Like, I want to say she was close to Reginald in damage, and then Reginald just stopped needing to do as much damage because Laya could take care of it. Bree blocked a ton. I mean, everybody kind of blocked a ton because we took a lot of block damage. Bree still took the most damage, but Laya took a ton of damage too, probably mostly from the self-immolation. Setting herself on fire was kind of rough. And yeah, Laya did actually do the most healing, so I was right to put the bell on Laya. That's what I'm going to take that as, you know? She, with her Sanctify, was doing it. Reginald and Otis, they did a good amount of healing too, but yeah, that wasn't their primary purpose. I like how Otis did more healing than Reginald, though. Despite the fact that Reginald's the healer and Otis just like is sort of the shield blocker. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this run. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a ton of fun to work out and try and make the 3 carries build work. I'm happy I at least got Otis over the 10k threshold. Like, you can see when somebody's like a complete support, they're typically going to be doing like 1200 damage like Bree. Or just not much damage at all. So, yeah, I would say marginally successful in creating the 3 carry Holy Warrior team. But that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you next time.